I say. Superman and Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks are the same. They're exactly the same. Clark Kent and Uncle Ruckus are perfect foils of each other because they are both doing their best white guy impression. Let's quote Kill Bill. Okay? Superman didn't become Superman. Superman was born Superman. When Superman wakes up in the morning, he's Superman. Clark Kent is the alter ego. Those are his clothes. The glasses, the suit, that's the costume. That's what Superman wears to blend in with us. Clark Kent is how Superman views us. Clark Kent is how Superman sees white people. Meek, bumbling, accident-prone. Okay, did you know exactly how in control Superman is in any given instance? Can you even comprehend how infinitesimally small you are to any variant of Superman? You can't. You literally can't. Because if anyone did, it would instantly strike the fear of God in them. And Superman chooses to avoid those conversations. Any object put on a pedestal inside the void becomes godly in nature once you apply virtue. Uncle Ruckus, on the same hand, was not administered such values. Ruckus had no buffer of what was considered good and evil in the eyes of white supremacy. He knew only productivity and a lack of confrontation. They both want to fit in so bad. They both want a place in the rich man's world so bad. I think it's a trauma response. And this is in no way an accident. Ruckus relegated himself to deifying his white peers, based solely off of comfort and perceived convenience, not understanding the specific work done in order to produce this product of society, the nuclear family. Clark Kent and Uncle Ruckus cling to this ideal cycle of life and will fight to the death with their own in order to preserve it. They champion this meekness as infallible virtue because meekness means no conflict, and no conflict means peace. Doesn't matter whose. Despite the inequity inherent to the core of that peace, leading to a violent cycle of people lashing out, only for a Superman to swoop in and violently arrest them, or an Uncle Ruckus to call them the N-word. These men are sideshows to society's actual participants. But to point this out would surely result in a rejection of facts on the side of Ruckus, and a deflection to, quote, make a change within the system using the system's rules from Superman Prime. If the white man's country was burning down, Uncle Superman would fight harder than the master himself to put out the blaze. And in the same breath, and in the same day, the white man could burn down his own country with folks still in it in order to rule over a prison in its stead. And the Uncle Ruckus would cheer on the blaze. He would do it louder and prouder than the white man himself, because no thanks or recognition is wanted or even expected. Because the house nig has been and always will be their own martyr. If the white man started starving children around the world, Uncle Superman, well, he would feed them. But that'd be all. He'll just feel really sorry about the whole situation. That's it. He wouldn't question how or why this is possible. I mean, he didn't ask what societal failures led to the advent of Joker. That's for true. Ruckus Man would just ask if the children were white. And if they weren't, he would ask if they did anything illegal. That wasn't the best example. The point is that complicity solely in order not to piss off the elites is a core value in both of these Uncle Thomases. They are the ultimate bots who integrated themselves into the system by doing everything in their reasonable power to keep the machine going. Because that is what's demanded of them. Uncle Ruckus has over a dozen jobs because he has the spirit of a white man. It's all Uncle Ruckus knows. It's all that's been drilled into him. Respectability politics. It's all they have. Their perceived dignity. It's the only pillar of society that still makes sense to them. And without it, why, they'd be a sniveling puddle of their former selves. And this is the most insidious part. This did happen to both of them. And guess what happened? That's right, Superman turned his frustration to the proletariat. Towards the proletariat. He was building prisons, I think. And I don't mean the fun kind with trees and pizza parties. As a juxtaposition, Uncle Ruckus turned his frustration inward. Lol. Pun intended, I don't care. The day finally came where Uncle Ruckus had to reckon with the fact that we were all the same. And the prejudice he imparted as a white man of dignity was, in fact, a mirrored echo chamber designed for the proletariat. Yes, Uncle Ruckus's ego death resulted in him realizing the futility in being the bird and the cage, or the cage, with false hope of earning more spending money, and opposed to the bird, who is hopeless. The bulk of his racist rhetoric was transmuted into concern for his newfound community. Or, at least it would be. He didn't defend billionaires. At least Superman had the balls to fight Batman. There is no easy answer. It's just important that white folk understand that a lot of problems aren't going to get better unless you quit the Uncle Tom shit. What if I like going to my job every day? I don't deserve a living wage, a thriving wage. White people are the new house Strike that. They were the original. Where do you think a Uncle Tom like Ruckus got it from? There was no other role models for him in America. Think about that. Okay? It's gross. It's fucking gross. And you need to boycott being tax liable. I'm sorry if this brand of suffering is unpalatable to you, but this needs to be done. Okay? I'm not talking to the bots. I'm talking to you. I only take those who want to go. And remember, stop being a house